Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the more sport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be diving into how to strategize and then how to execute so that your build project can go from off the fucking jack stands and then onto the road so that you can fucking enjoy it, right? Because we've all been there, man. Especially if you're one like me that likes to build things on yourself, or likes to build things on your own. If you liked, like, like if you're a build my shit in my garage type of guy, right? Life happens, family happens, work happens, like, you know, relationships happen. So many things end up happening. Family time, all this stuff ends up taking priority over our builds, right? And then what happens is that before we know, we're like, oh shit, man, this month I didn't do anything, right? Ah, man, fuck, this quarter I didn't do anything. Oh shit, man, I look back and I was like, fuck, bro, I barely worked on the car fucking all last year, right? No matter how big my intention was, I never put in the fucking work. I never put it into play. I never really measured, right, the progress that I wanted to make happen, right? And so this is why I wanted to make this episode today, right? Because your build deserves goals too, right? In business, we set goals, we set milestones to hit, we set we have monthly assessments, we have weekly assessments, all that stuff in order to make sure that we're hitting the targets, right? I like to apply that same principle to my life, right? I have a weekly meeting with myself. I actually just finished, we actually just did an episode on this, right? Last episode. And so I believe that if you take that same principle and apply it to your build and analyze and measure, right, how your build is going, you can only improve from there, right? Because you can't improve where you don't measure. And if you're never fucking measuring it, if we're only seeing what didn't happen after a lot of time has passed, you're gonna have a lot of fucking time that has passed with you just sitting in your car in the garage, not doing it, not making it happen, you not enjoying it. And then every time you hang out with friends, they're like, yo, where's the car at? Oh, how's it going? Oh, this and that. And you're like, man, this happened, family time, this. Because we don't put it at the front of our minds, right? But if it's important for you, right? Maybe it's not important for you. And then this episode, maybe it's not related to you. But for me, finishing our build is important, right? The reason why it's important is because that is a passion. That is a form of therapy for us, right? That is a form where we go and feel alive, the adrenaline pumping, all this shit, right? Like I am one that likes to drive my race cars to fucking work, right? And so for me, that's important. I was like, man, I want to fucking drive my race car to work. I want to, it's not my daily, right? But if today I fucking feel like going to fucking drive my race car, I want to pull that shit on, drive it to work, right? But if it doesn't get done, definitely not going to drive it to work. I'm definitely not going to be able to drive it to Cars and Coffee. I'm definitely not going to be able to go show it to my friends. I'm definitely not going to be able to go race. I'm definitely not going to be able to use that as an avenue of de-stressing, as a form of therapy, because every time I look at it, it's just going to be in the garage, sitting, right? On jack stands or whatever it is for you. No mortar, whatever, just unusable, right? And so let's change that, right? Let's make things happen, right? Let's cover some steps that you can put into play into your life so that you could go from not using it to out and enjoying, right? Out and just, maybe for you is giving rides, right? Maybe for you is just going solo, like listening to the engine rev, like fucking for me is definitely pulling those G's, right? Like when you step on it, fucking put you back into the seat. Like, man, that is fucking a form of therapy for me. Chasing that adrenaline is a form of therapy for me, right? So the first and foremost, right? You gotta lock in, why is finishing this build important, right? Like that's a fucking very hard question. Very hard question. It's not a hard question, but I want you to be specific with it. Oh, just because I want to finish it. That ain't gonna fucking get you into the garage when you've had a full day of fucking work, when you've had some family time, when when you want to just go sit on the couch and watch some TV, and instead you got to put that aside and you got to go make time to work on your build. Typically, us Family, man, we go work on our build at night, right? After we've attended work, after we've done our critical tasks, after we've spent family time. Typically, it happens late at night, right? I was talking actually with one of my friends. We're at a bonfire. We were talking about how I'm in a stage, that we don't have kids yet. We're working towards building a family and all that. But I moved my Camaro to my friend's house, and I'm dedicating my Saturdays, my Saturday evenings to go work on the build, right? To go work on the car, to go make progress, right? And so for me, I was like, I set up with my wife. We're having date nights every Friday night, so I'm making sure that relationship stays on hot, stays fire, we stay thriving. And then I told her, I gotta go do this. I moved my car over there. And I'm gonna put in the time. And so for me, I'm gonna go work on it every fucking Saturday, right? But for my friend has multiple kids, and he's like, bro, the weekends I can't do anything, right? And so he's like, bro, for me, it's late at night, right? After I have a full day of work, I have dinner with the family, I put the kids to bed, and then I go work on the car, right? That is what that is my time for him, for him, right? And so that is when it's most important for you to know why you're building this shit, right? Why are you gonna do this? Why are you doing it? Like, you want to be able to to solidify your purpose behind it, because there's gonna come a time when you'd rather just go chill. You'd rather just go turn on the TV. You'd rather just go fucking, go just not do shit and go rest because you've had a long day. And that is the moment when you got to remember why I want this. Why is it purposeful? Why is it meaningful to me, right? If you don't solidify why you want to do this, you're going to give up when things get hard. And trust me that as busy men, as fucking men that have a lot going on, as men that are thriving, as men that are working on getting better, that there's so many other different areas, right? This always takes the back seat, right? And if you don't solidify why you're doing it, you're gonna give up when it gets hard. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna set the time aside, right? And so something that helps me, right? After I know what my purpose is, right? I do it. And for me, it's really just a form of therapy. For me, it's an adrenaline rush. For me, it's a connection. For me, it's like I want to finish my car so that I can have that avenue of to be just me, to go connect with myself, to go give myself that freedom. That's what it brings to me. Maybe for you, something different, right? And so what I like to do is I like to set key reminders that keep my build at the top of my mind, right? Like, now, for example, on my phone, right? I'm recording this podcast on my phone. If you're listening or you're watching, whatever, I record them all on my phone. And so on my screensaver on my phone, when it's locked, it's my Camaro, right? Put that bitch right there. Like when we're doing some drive, right? We're at a racetrack and you had to do like a couple mile drive to prove that it was a street car, and they took a badass picture of me, and I put that fucking picture right there on my phone, on my screensaver, right? That's on my lock screen. So every time I pick up my phone, I see that shit, right? On my home screen is a different thing. Like, no, it's not related to my cards, it's my family, right? So that's also important. That's very important to me, right? But then you could do this with your laptop also. So every time you open up your screens, your work laptop or whatever it is, you see the car. You want to keep things at the fucking front of your mind, right? You could go through pictures, right? You could set reminders. You could set on your calendar. This one's really important because I personally live on my calendar. And so if you don't set that time aside on your calendar, then you're never gonna really go do it, right? And then and I posted a picture about this on my Instagram not too long ago. You want to be able to visualize you having the build done. Like I posted a picture of me sitting in my Camaro, like it was the box in the back with a fuel tank, the cage all raw and all this stuff. It had, like, if you can see, it had no windshield from the other side of the picture. And I was just sitting there, man, and I was just visualizing how I would feel, how I would feel, right? Like, how is the engine gonna make noises? How is it that G-force is gonna feel? How is the turbo gonna sound? Like all these fucking things. How's it gonna feel banging gears? All that shit. So I can bring it to the forefront. So I can engrave it into my subconscious, and I can let it know what we're fucking working towards, right? All part of why is this build important, right? And so after we do that, after we lock in why it is important, we solidify our purpose. We set key reminders to make sure it stays on the front of our mind. We maybe visualize, we put our calendar reminders, all this. Now it's time to really analyze and establish what it is that we have left to accomplish, right? Like, I want you to list out every single thing that is left, right? And then this is like the brain dump activity, right? This is like like no particular order. Like you could just, like, I live by spreadsheets. I have a spreadsheet for my builds, and I have it analyzing my builds, right? And so how I created that spreadsheet is I opened my phone and I was there sitting in front of my car and I was just looking, all right, this is missing. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta buy this, I gotta this. Literally just brain dump everything that I thought needed to be accomplished in order to get that car finished, right? No particular order, just brain dump it, brain dump it, brain dump it. Make the fucking list. If you can make the list of what is left to have that ride done, then how do you expect to even have it done? Right? It's an important one, right? Spend some time planning. Like there's that saying, right? Give me 10 minutes to chop it down on a tree, and I'm gonna spend the first nine really fucking um filing down my axe so that I can fucking hammer that bitch good, right? At the end. So we're setting the foundation right now, right? List everything that you have left to accomplish, right? No particular order. Step two is go ahead and you're going to prioritize that list into groups of importance. And then what you do is groups of importance. And so for me, I was like, man, all right, I got to prep the interior. That's, prep the interior is one. And then I got to build the mortar, which the mortar is pretty much complete, but I got to do fucking little situations I ran into with the mortar. I actually got to take off the heads to clean the valves and all this bullshit that's just sat there and has some corrosion. Step three is, what it's going to take to put the mortar in the car. What I got to have all accomplished, for me at least, and then, and then after that, what is everything I got to do to have it turned on, right? And then after it's turned on, what is everything I got to do to be able to drive it, right? And so I'm listing from all those things that I have left to complete. I'm putting them into groups of importance, right? And then once you have them into groups of importance, you got to really just sequence the next step, right? And sometimes you're going to bounce from one group to the other because maybe funds are not available, or one is required before the other, or maybe you don't have the time to do that large task. You're going to do something else. Maybe sometimes you want to attack the low hanging fruit to be able to show yourself that you're actually making things done, right? And so the important thing is to map everything out that is left, group that into a list of importance, and then sequence out the next steps, right? If you can't create a plan for yourself of how to do it, then you're never gonna do it, my friend. You're never gonna fucking do it, right? And then really think about, the following step really is just think about what will be your plan of execution, right? And yeah, we list what needs to get done. Those are the sequence of steps that I need to get done to attack it, right? This is what's left and this is how I'm going to do it. But then what's really more important is because you can have all the intention in the fucking world, but if you don't have a plan to execute off of, then you're not going to do it, right? Because intention gets superseded by action any day. So no matter, the reason why is really because no matter how bad you want it, nothing gets done without action, right? If you can make the plan, you can set it all up, you can create all this, but if you don't actually make time to go work on it, to go put in the work, to go make the action happen, nothing's gonna get done, right? So think about what days can you commit to working on your build, right? Like like I was giving you an example. For me, now that I don't have the car here, like I have to go to my friend's house, so it's gonna be on the weekends, right? Or unless I have some free time, I hit it straight over there after work, right? And I've done that before when I was building my Camaro a long time ago on my other friend's house, literally working an hour away from home. And I had told my wife, yo, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, for example, and I don't remember if those were the days, but I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go straight there from work. I'm gonna pick up lunch on the way. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna show up there. I'm gonna work on the car for like an hour or two, and I'm gonna come home. And so those are the days that I had allocated for making this shit happen. You know, maybe for you it's the weekend. Maybe for you, you have it at your house. So maybe you can commit just fucking an hour every day before you go to sleep, right? At the end of your day, right? Really commit to making it happen. But you gotta establish it. When am I gonna go put in the work, right? And then the thing that really helps you stay committed is to put this on your calendar, right? Excuse me. Put this on your calendar and then just commit to the fucking time blocks, right? If you say, yo, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm gonna commit to fucking putting an hour. Then make sure that you stick to the fucking schedule. Put it on your calendar and list it. From this time to this time is build time, right? Maybe for you it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or maybe for you it's an hour every single day. You'd be surprised how much fucking progress you can make by doing just 1 hour every single day. Even half an hour every single day. It's because you create the consistency. You create the sustainability for you to keep rolling the ball forward to get that bill done, right? I know you can't do this shit, bro. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take leaning into uncomfortable. It's gonna take you putting aside fucking just chilling on the couch watching some TV or being on your phone and all that shit to actually going and fucking making shit happen, right? But you can fucking do this, right? So my question for you today is really, when will you have it finished by, right? Like set a goal for yourself. Set a target to hit. Like, yo, I want to have this finished by this date, right? And then work backwards. What I need to do. What are the milestones I need to hit, right? Just like we were doing business, or we were doing talked about in my previous episode about really strategizing your goals for life, right? Break those out from year to quarters to monthly benchmarks to fucking weekly targets, like all this shit and daily actionable uh, tasks that we're gonna do, right? When will you have this finished by, right? And then really my challenge for you is, what is one thing, right? Just fucking one thing that you can do today that's gonna help you make progress on that, right? Just one thing, right? And the reason I want you to just do one thing today, but today, is because we want to establish this momentum. We want to get the ball rolling, right? We got to make this happen. But in order to make it happen, you got to actually put in the fucking work. You can do this shit, right? So I'm gonna leave you with the final thought, right? A goal without a deadline is just a dream, my friend. So the lack of direction, not the lack of time, is the fucking problem, right? Because we all have 24-hour days, right? Focus on being productive instead of being busy, my friend. Know that discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. So let's get to fucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If by any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, what the fuck you waiting for, bro? Go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected to today's message, if you resonated with it, if you're also building some shit, maybe you know someone who's building on it, right? Send this to them. Or man, if you could do me a favor, share this on your story, right? Make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more gearheads to really see about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how our community grows. Catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.